For as long as humanity has existed, we have looked upward, reading the sky like a book of omens. Ancient civilizations feared the arrival of blazing comets, believing they carried disaster in their tails. Modern science replaced fear with reason, assuring us that these wanderers are nothing more than frozen remnants of creation. But now, something has appeared in the heavens that challenges both faith and science. An interstellar object, glowing crimson, cutting across the solar system on a trajectory that feels less like a passage, and more like a purpose. Astronomers named it Atlas III, the third confirmed visitor from beyond our star. At first, it behaved as expected, a faint dot reflecting sunlight. But soon, strange patterns began to emerge. Its brightness fluctuated not randomly but rhythmically, as though pulsing to an invisible beat. The coma surrounding it expanded far beyond normal limits, until the object was enveloped in a sphere of plasma nearly the size of a small planet. Instruments detected faint electromagnetic signatures rippling through space at precise intervals. Then, one night, the Earth itself began to answer. Within a single hour, 2 massive earthquakes struck Venezuela. Back-to-back tremors so similar in magnitude and timing that geologists thought their instruments were malfunctioning. They weren't. Around the same time, solar observatories recorded a coronal mass ejection erupting from the Sun, while deep space telescopes captured flashes of distant novas blooming in the same cosmic window. It was as if the entire solar system had exhaled at once. A coincidence, they said. But the alignment was too precise, the rhythm too deliberate. Something was resonating between Earth and the stars. Space weather experts noticed that solar winds around the planet had dropped to their lowest density in years, creating a rare vacuum in the electromagnetic field that shields us. When that pressure vanished, subtle stress lines in Earth's crust began to shift. For the first time, data linked tectonic strain to solar fluctuation, an unproven theory suddenly finding proof in chaos. And at the center of it all, the Crimson Traveler continued its silent march toward the inner planets. Atlas III defied every law of cometary behavior. Its tail didn't flow away from the Sun, it twisted, coiled, and sometimes turned back toward it, like magnetic threads caught in an unseen current. When struck by another solar flare, it didn't simply brighten, it responded. Its plasma tail split into distinct filaments, each moving with independent motion, almost as if guided by intelligence. And then, radio observatories listening for background signals picked up an irregular pulse coming from its direction. Not random static, structured intervals, measured in exact ratios of 3. It wasn't communication, but it felt like intent. As the days passed, the Earth grew restless. Minor tremors appeared across the globe in places long considered stable: Alaska, the Mediterranean, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. The frequency of microquakes rose, synchronized with faint electromagnetic fluctuations in the atmosphere. Satellites orbiting Earth detected disturbances in the ionosphere, thin layers of charged particles swelling and collapsing without pattern. Some scientists whispered that Atlas III's immense plasma field might be acting as a conductor, linking the magnetic forces of Sun and Earth into one giant circuit. When the object crossed Mars' orbital plane, new anomalies began. The red planet flickered with faint auroras, an impossible sight for a world with almost no magnetic field. Yet, there they were, shimmering curtains of light, triggered by streams of particles redirected from Atlas III's coma. The InSight lander recorded subtle seismic activity beneath its surface, tiny quakes rippling through Martian soil. What was happening on Mars mirrored the strange agitation on Earth, as though both planets were vibrating to the same cosmic frequency. And then came the silence. NASA's live telemetry on the object abruptly stopped updating. Public access pages froze. Weeks of observations vanished from open databases. Only fragments remained, Reports of radio interference, corrupted data, and brief mentions of energy discharges observed near the comet's core. Independent astronomers who tried to track it found their instruments struggling to focus, as if something was distorting the light itself. Some said it wasn't reflecting sunlight anymore. It was emitting it. Rumors began to spread through the scientific community. The pattern of brightness, the electromagnetic pulses, even the timing of seismic events, they all followed a repeating sequence, like a code counting towards something. And as the days passed, that rhythm began accelerating. Earth's magnetic field trembled with brief surges. Auroras stretched far beyond their usual latitudes, turning skies blood-red over continents that had never seen them before. Power grids flickered. Communications dropped. The planet was being tuned. Ancient cultures once spoke of comets as instruments of the gods, strumming the harmony between heaven and earth. Maybe they weren't wrong. Maybe they understood resonance long before we had words for it. A single vibration, perfectly timed, can shatter glass or bring down bridges. If Atlas III has found the natural frequency of our planet, then what we call coincidence might be something far more deliberate, a cosmic note held too long, too loud. As the crimson visitor nears its alignment with Earth and the Sun, its energy grows unstable. One moment it dims to invisibility, the next it flares like a small star, flooding detectors with radiation. The tail divides, splits again, until it resembles a web of light weaving through the void. And each time it brightens, seismographs register faint echoes, tiny vibrations beneath our oceans, low-frequency hums that ripple through the deep like the heartbeat of a giant machine. The planet is responding, even if we don't yet understand why. Officials insist there's no cause for alarm. Yet the silence from agencies tells another story. The more Atlas III glows, the less we hear from those who monitor it. Data feeds vanish. Images are recycled. Updates grow vague. And somewhere behind the curtain, decisions are being made about what humanity should or shouldn't know. But out here, under the night sky, no explanation can drown the unease that something ancient has awakened. The ancients feared the sky because they saw how it moved the earth. We stopped believing because we thought we were safe from that connection. Now, as the crimson light of Atlas III burns brighter with each passing night, maybe we're beginning to remember. Maybe the heavens have always spoken, and the earth has always answered.